Hey, what's up guys? Andy from the future here, and today we're doing part 2 of my portfolio reveal video. So that video got super long, so I had to break it into 2 parts, and if you haven't seen part 1, I'll leave a link somewhere up on the top or down in the description as well, and you can go check it out if you haven't seen that video. So today we're just gonna do part 2, and I'm just gonna roll the intro and we're just gonna jump right into it. So let's go. So that's Costco stock. Now let's move on. So the next stock I want to talk about is Visa, ticker symbol V. Now I bought this stock back a long time ago before the Roni situation even hit, and my cost basis is around $200 per share. I think it's just over that, 201 or something like that, and I bought 7 shares of Visa. Now I'm down 3.8% currently on this position, but I'm not worried about this at all. I just think that Visa is such a great play for the long term as well, and the reason why I think that is because Visa has a great business model where they can just sit in the middle and be a middleman and just collect money. So in case you guys didn't know how Visa made, and MasterCard for that matter, in case you guys didn't know how credit card processing companies make money, they charge a merchant a fee whenever you use a Visa card to pay. So you as a customer, you pay the same price, but if you pay for something using a Visa card, then Visa would charge the merchant a small fee. I think it's like 2 to 3% or something like that, where to process that transaction. Now the reason why the merchant would accept that fee is for the added convenience, right? They don't have to like count change and all that stuff, and Visa would handle that, and it helps increase their clientele. So I'm sure you as a customer have visited places that don't accept credit cards, and then that's pretty annoying, right? So that might prevent you from shopping there if they don't accept credit cards. So merchants are kind of forced to accept Visa and MasterCard these days. Now I also made a video about American Express, which offers a similar service, right? Also payment processing, but I chose to buy Visa instead because I think Visa's business model is a little more secure. So if you guys don't know, American Express, they originate the loan, right? So they actually issue the card. Versus with Visa, a bank issues the card or another financial institution actually issues the card. So that difference is that if you default on your credit card, then it's the bank's money and it's the financial institution's money who issue the card. It's their money on the line, and Visa's just scot-free, right? But with American Express, if you default on your American Express card, then American Express is on the line. So with American Express, there's that added risk of just credit default risk, but with Visa that risk doesn't exist. So I think overall, if I were to compare Visa to American Express, I think that Visa has a more secure business model and they have more secure income. So I just think that Visa is a safer play, which is why I bought Visa instead of American Express. But I'm not against buying American Express stock, right? I think that's a great company as well, and I might buy some American Express stock too. Now, if you're asking why I didn't buy MasterCard, why I bought Visa instead of MasterCard, there's really no reason. I think they're both pretty much the same in my eyes. Now, I know they're not exactly the same because the valuations are slightly different, but they're so close and their business model is so similar that it doesn't really matter. So there's no particular reason why I decided to buy Visa instead of MasterCard. I just bought Visa just because. So anyways, that's Visa. Now let's move on to the next stock, which is Berkshire Hathaway, ticker symbol BRKB. Now unfortunately I can't afford BRKA, which is their A-class stock, which trades for almost $300,000 a share if I remember correctly. Now the pleb version and the version that I could actually afford is BRKB, and I have 10 shares of that at a cost basis of $226. Now granted I bought this stock way too early because I bought this stock before the Roni situation even hit. I bought it in 2019, and I just decided to buy it even though that the stock was like nearing all-time highs at the time. So as a result, the market value right now is $1,800, and I'm down about 20% on this position. However, I'm not really scared of this because you guys know what Berkshire Hathaway is, right? It's Warren Buffett's company. So if you're putting money into a Berkshire Hathaway, you're kind of sort of entrusting your money into the hands of Warren Buffett. And now I know Warren Buffett has gotten a lot of flack lately for selling airlines at his bottom, and Berkshire Hathaway stock has not performed as well as the S&P 500 for, I think it was the past few years or the past decade even, right? So in the near term, Berkshire Hathaway has not actually performed that well, but I think in the long term, Buffett's strategy is still very good. Just because in the short term you see all these like day traders like Dave Portnoy and they're just making a killing, right? They're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you know, people are saying, oh, like look at me, I'm better than Warren Buffett because I made so much return within just a matter of a month versus Berkshire Hathaway's been losing money and Warren Buffett sold airlines at its lowest. Well, okay, wait another 10, 20 years and we'll see who wins, right? So with day trading, you're always taking on that risk of making some bad trades and losing money, especially if you're inexperienced, like all of these guys are just like pouring into the stock market and day trading with zero experience. We'll see how well they perform against Warren Buffett in the long term. Now, in my opinion, I think Warren Buffett is still his strategy is still good, right? And you know, Berkshire Hathaway is basically built upon his philosophy, and if I'm buying into that philosophy, I think I will do very well in the long term. Now I'm down 20%, which means that I'm actually in a position where I might actually average down on this stock, and I'll definitely be open to doing that. And I'll have to see. So maybe in the coming like weeks or months, I would average down on this stock and just try to bring my cost basis down a little lower, because obviously I started buying this stock back in 2019 when it was at all-time highs. So that's the reason why I'm down so much. Now, anyways, I made a video on Berkshire Hathaway, by the way, so you can check that out. And yeah, in my opinion, they're just a better index fund. You're just buying a whole conglomerate of companies that are really good, in my opinion. So that's Berkshire Hathaway. Now, moving on to the next stock is Revolve, ticker symbol RVLV. Now, granted, I bought too much of this stock at once. So what happened was I thought an earnings report was going to be good. So I FOMO'd into an earnings report and I tried to bet on it. I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a ton of this stock and then just sell it when the earnings report is good and make like a 10% profit right away. Well, I was wrong. And the earnings report was actually not that good. And then the stock ended up dropping and I just kind of stuck in it. So yeah, that's my lesson learned for trying to time the market. See, like even people like me, I still try to time the market sometimes. Sometimes I just can't resist the urge, right? And yeah, when I try to time the market, bad things happen. So I definitely learned my lesson there. And as a result, I took up a position that was a little bit bigger than what I would like, which is why this stock is actually nearing the end of this list, because I've actually contributed a lot of money into this stock, a little more than what I would prefer. Now I own 129 shares of this stock at a cost basis of $19.72. Now the market value for this is over $2,000, which again is a little bigger than I would like. Preferably for a speculative stock like this, I would have preferred a position size that's closer to 1,000. But you know, I dumped more than $2,000 into it, and right now I'm down 15.8%. Now, if you guys don't know Revolve, they're basically a clothing company, and they use Instagram models and Instagram influencers to sort of market and promote their product. And I think that they have some really good appeals to the millennial market, or the Zoomers, right? The Gen Z. So that's where the majority of their marketing budget is aimed at. And I just see Revolve as one of the companies that actually understands the mindset of the millennial and understands the mindset of the Gen Z, which is why I think I like what this company stands for. However, as I mentioned, this is sort of a speculative play, because this is a high growth company and I'm not like expecting them to pay a dividend or anything like that anytime soon, right? So I think I just invested into this company because I want massive growth. And by looking at the metrics, we can see some massive growth that's expected for this company down the pipeline. But the issue is that obviously with the Roni situation, a lot of their suppliers and stuff are in China, where the Roni situation originated, right? So when the Roni situation first broke out, their stock just absolutely plummeted. So my cost basis of $19.72, well, I think this stock hit like $8 or $9, or it hit like sub $10, I think, at one point, right? So yeah, I was down quite a bit, but you know what? At this point, I'm just gonna hold it, and I still believe in Revolve in the long term, by the way. So I'm not gonna get too caught up in this like short-term fluctuations of the price. I think they still got a bright future ahead of them. But yeah, as of right now, I'm down 15%. Not the best situation to be in, to be honest, but hey, it is what it is, right? Now, anyways, with that being said, let's move on to the next stock, which is going to be my second biggest holding in my entire portfolio right now, and that is Facebook. Ticker symbol FB. Now, I bought this stock at a cost basis of $183.95, and right now I own 20 shares of Facebook. Now, obviously, as you can see, I'm up quite a bit on my position. I'm up 28% on my position, and this stock has been an absolute nice performer for me. It's been absolutely amazing, and I am absolutely not selling any shares of Facebook because I think that they still have quite a bit of room to run. So I made a video about Facebook as well. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already. So once again, I'm not going to go through too much of details about this stock, but to summarize, I just think that Facebook has so much potential. So they have WhatsApp, they own Instagram, which if you think about Instagram, where's all the attention of young people concentrated these days? It's on Instagram, right? So if you think, oh, Facebook, the platform itself, Facebook is dying, well, maybe, but Facebook owns Instagram. So when people start deleting Facebook and start going on Facebook less, they're probably spending the same time and just going on Instagram even more. So I think overall, Facebook has a bright future ahead of them. And if you're looking for advertising and you're looking for bang for buck, what are you going to do? Are you going to buy a billboard? Are you going to put an ad on TV? Or are you going to spend money on social media and market on social media? Now, if you are in the industry, if you're in the advertising industry, I think the answer is pretty clear, right? If you want maximum influence for the least amount of cost, I think you would go with the social media rather than buying a billboard or buying a TV ad. And I just think that that's where the market trend is going, where people who are advertising, they're spending more and more money and pouring it into social media as opposed to these traditional routes like TV ads and billboards and whatnot. So I just think that Facebook has the potential to even increase their revenue even further than right now. And don't even get me started on WhatsApp, right? So they haven't even started to really monetize WhatsApp. And I know WhatsApp doesn't seem like such a big deal here in North America, here in Canada and US, and not that many people use it. But, I have friends that are from South America, from other parts of the world, and they all tell me that WhatsApp is like a huge deal outside of North America. So the people who are from like South America, they're telling me, everyone uses WhatsApp down there. So yeah, they haven't even started really tapping into the potential of WhatsApp, in my opinion. And if you're looking at the pie in the skies idea, Facebook owns Oculus, so they might be doing something with virtual reality coming soon. They're also trying to start their own stablecoin cryptocurrency, which is called Libra, and who knows where that's going to be. But right now those are just sort of pie in the sky ideas, in my opinion, but eventually those might evolve into something that's really great. And if you look at Facebook's balance sheet, they're just loaded up on cash with like almost no debt. So yeah, I just think that Facebook is super undervalued for what it is at this moment. Now I know they have some like bad press, but eventually I think they'll get over that. So yeah, anyways, that's why Facebook shares are the second biggest position in my portfolio right now. Now let's move on to stock number one. And I feel like a lot of you already guessed what stock number one is, right? Of course, it is Tesla. Ticker symbol TSLA. And now I own 6 shares of Tesla at a cost basis of $269.30. Now I'm really proud of this cost basis because obviously the stock is nowhere near this cost basis at this moment. And I am up a whopping 272% on my position. Now granted, I was an idiot. You guys are going to hate me, but I used to own 12 shares of Tesla and I sold 6 shares when it hit like $800 something. Now this was a boneheaded move and I regretted it, and I've been kicking myself ever since. But back then I was just thinking this stock has risen too fast, right? So it went from like $200, $300 something all the way to like $800 and $900 within a jiffy. So I just think that the stock went up too fast, but hey, I was wrong. It never came back down. So I lost out on a lot of potential gains. Now I'll probably buy back my shares at some point if it dips below where I sold it at, which maybe it's at like $1,000 right now, I think. So maybe it's not too far of a stretch for it to dip back down to like 800-ish. But yeah, I'll definitely be looking for a way to like buy more Tesla shares. and get back into this stock in a major way. Now, you guys know of my bullish thesis, right? So I made a video on Tesla. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time about Tesla because you guys are probably already tired of hearing me speak about it. But I'll say this. The remaining 6 shares I have, I am not selling no matter what. So I know the stock is at $1,000 right now. Even if the stock hits like $3,000, even if it hits $5,000 tomorrow, I am not selling the remainder of my Tesla shares. I'm just gonna keep these 6 shares basically forever, probably for the rest of my life even. I can't see a single scenario where I would sell out of my remaining Tesla shares. This is a company that I really want to be in and that I really want to be a part of. And I would never even imagine of completely selling out of my position in Tesla. And I made a mistake selling out some of my previous shares, and I'm not going to make the same mistake again. So yeah, anyways, this is my entire portfolio. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Now, I know you were going to say, hey, Andy, like, you're down on most of your positions. You suck. I'm just going to inverse what you do. And I know I've gotten a few comments on my previous videos about people saying that they want to inverse me because obviously I've been wrong a lot of times. So I'll just be completely transparent with you for Shopify, right? So I sold Shopify back when the stock hit like I think it was like $900 a share or $800, $900 a share, around that range. So I sold my Shopify shares and then the stock just kept on going up, right? So I think now it's at like almost like $1,200 a share or something like that, 1,100 something. So granted, I sold my shares way too early and people are like, oh, I should inverse you. And if you look at my portfolio, I'm down on most of my positions. So you might be tempted to inverse me. And if you do, there's nothing I can do about it, right? So you're welcome to do that if you want. But here's what I have to say. Even though I'm down most of my positions, that's because I took profits on a lot of companies that I was up on. So if you see that, if you remember that cash balance that I had at the beginning, I think it was around like $14,000 I have just saved up in cash right now, and I'm just waiting for the next big market crash. Yeah, so where do you think that cash came from? I took profits in a lot of stocks I was up on, namely companies like CCL, Carnival Cruise, and Southwest Airlines, LUV. So I was up about 20% on each of those, so I just decided to take my profits on those. And I also took some profits on Foot Locker. If you guys remember from a long time ago when I made that first portfolio reveal video, I used to own some shares of Foot Locker. Now I was down on my position for a really long time because my cost basis was like, I think it was like around $30. Now I waited for a long time until I broke even on that stock, and then I was just like, you know what, let me just take some profits because I was up like a good, I don't know, maybe like 7, 8, 9%, something like that. Yeah, so anyways, that's the reason why I'm down, is because I actually sold a lot of the stock I was up on. And these stocks that I'm down on, I'm either going to average down or just keep on holding until they turn green. Anyways, the video is getting super long, so I'll leave the video here. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you like this series. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll leave the links down below in the description as always. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.